Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. This is Sherry.
And this is William.
So today we're gonna explain our trip to Livingstone, Victoria's Falls, Botswana and Lusaka. So we actually stay in Lusaka, that's why we chose to drive Livingstone, and we pass by 1 day in Botswana and come back after 4 days and stay in 1 day in Lusaka. So overall we planned our trip for 5 days. We would like to first talk about our schedule, and the second is our total cost. So let's get started. Well, so we booked everything including the accommodations and activities about 1 month ago before we departure. January is not too busy, so you could still have a little bit time to book everything. You don't need to pay your activities before in advance. We booked through booking.com. You have plenty of choices there. Otherwise, you could visit the hotels or hostels websites as well.
Also, interesting enough, it was cheaper to do it through booking.com than to book at the actual hotel.
Right, they have like sort of agreement or something. Let's go through every day. How did we plan it? First day we left our apartment in Lusaka around 5 in the morning just to avoid traffic and to avoid some of the police officers on the way.
Yeah, basically before you hit every town or in every town, there will be a guy that's either gonna check your speed or is gonna pull you over for some funny reason to check something. What will happen is you'll be driving 80 and then all of a sudden it's a 60 zone and the guy tells you, hey, pull over, you're over speeding.
So there's also one toll gate as well passed by.
2 toll gates.
Okay, the price is not that expensive though. It's like,
yeah, it's 20 kwacha to go through the toll gate.
Right, so overall trip it takes 7 hours. If you leave about 5 a.m. it's a good time, and you would arrive about 12:30 or 1 p.m. On the way of your drivings, you could see a lot of small towns that you could pass by for breakfast or just to stretch your legs. So yeah, we arrived about 1 p.m. and just leave us a little bit time to unpack and settle in our hotels. We booked with Jolly Boys Backpackers. They have another site for campsite, but Jolly Boy Backpackers is the one that has most of the people. We booked our sunset cruise in the afternoon, and the overall cruise takes 2 hours and allows you to see the sunset right above the lower Zambezi rivers. It's an amazing experience. They also offered a little bit snacks. That's quite cool. We are on the way for our sunset cruise. See the view on the street.
The road leading from this site consequently became known.
And then we come back, so that's our first day conclusion. And second day we left early for Devil's Pool. Devil's Pool actually we went for Angel's Pool because Devil's Pool already closed because of water level. Devil's Pool normally closed beginning of every year, January, and then they open Angel's Pool. Yeah, you still have alternatives to choose besides Devil's Pool. And the price is the same, $110 for one person, and they have different schedules, so depending on what schedule you booked. Yeah, so the one we chose, it's an hour and a half trip. You leave early in the morning and they covers you breakfast. We will tell you their websites. Do check out their websites. It has all the information you need, and you could also book your trip through their emails. Otherwise, you could always book through your accommodations as well. And in the afternoon we went to the Musiwa Tunya National Park for Victoria's Falls. So Victoria's Falls, it could take you like half day to visit. It has the upper level, and then you could go down to the canyon to see the bottom of the fall as well.
Boiling pot.
Yeah, it's called boiling pot. The entrance fee, it's roughly like if you have the resident permit, it's very cheap. It's like 20 kwacha or something. But if you are a foreigner, you have to pay like in dollars. It's like 10 times more than the locals. So, but anyway, it's not that much as well.
Still very affordable. One thing to note though, it's a lot of walking, so when you go there, just put on comfortable clothing, comfortable shoes. It is very beautiful, but it is a bit of walking.
Yeah, so Victoria Falls, the best time to visit is when the water level is really high. That's about from April onwards, and maybe to June, July. I'd say those are the times you'll see a lot of water and you may get wet. You definitely will get wet. But that's one thing, like when the water level is high, you wouldn't be able to do the Devil's Pool or Angel's Pool. So there's always give and take. You could either see the Victoria Falls in a super great timing, but then you have to sacrifice Devil's Pool or Angel's Pool. Otherwise, you could, like us, come even around January or February. Maybe you would have a chance to do a little bit.
You can do like Angel's Pool, yeah. And then still great experience with Victoria Falls.
Yeah.
The water pressure when it falls down is so great that it actually shoots the water back up, and it creates like a natural shower or natural rainfall. Which is,
rainbows as well.
Yeah, a lot of rainbows and stuff. It's excellent for photography. It's really breathtakingly beautiful.
So that's our trip we planned for the second day. But anyway, there's another point that if you want to go to the other side of the Victoria Falls, that's in Zimbabwe side, you might need to have the whole day. Maybe in the morning to do the Zambia side, then in the afternoon do the Zimbabwe side, or even a little bit longer. We didn't go for Zimbabwe side, but we've heard that you could see more waters from that side. There's also visa need to be considered. Although it's very like close by, right after the national park, there's a bridge where you could do the bungee jumping and zip lines, all those activities, and pass by those bridge maybe a little bit further, like maybe 10 minutes drive, you could reach to the border of Zimbabwe. The third day we went to the Chobe National Park in Botswana. We took the day trip, covers Botswana the whole day, all the transports, the food, everything. So we booked through our hotels as well. All our activities were booked through our hotels. We have to leave very early in the morning, like maybe 6 or something, and it takes like an hour drive to the border, and then you have to take a boat for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then you reach the border.
You have to have your visa already prior to that if you don't have a visa on arrival type situation.
Station. So just get off the car and now we reached the river, going on boat.
So that's Namibia.
That's Namibia. That's Botswana.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's Zimbabwe. That's Zambia. We're in Botswana now. Look at all the trucks lying in the line, waiting for customs. Here we are.
Yes, welcome to Botswana.
Welcome to Botswana.
But before you go to the Chobe National Park, you'll all arrive there from different companies, hotels, everything. Everyone will arrive at, it's almost like a restaurant, guest house type thing. That's where we had our food, we had our breakfast. It was really good. From there you would basically go on a boat trip.
Which takes half days, and after the boat cruise you went back to the restaurant, have your lunch. We had our buffet, and after that we went for a game drive in the park. We saw like maybe 2 elephants, not too much animals. It only took us like maybe 2 to 3 hours in the park, so it didn't leave us too much time to really go through the park. That's why maybe we'll recommend you to stay a night in the park and do the campsite, and then second day you still have a little bit time. Our transport has to take us back from the game drive to our border by the time of 4 in the afternoon, and then we still need to have like an hour or 2 hours back home.
Also, another thing to note is so if you're on the boat, you would see hippos, you would see crocodiles, you might see some buffaloes on the side, some impalas, all those type of things. So on the boat, it's really beautiful. It's really worth it. No matter the time of year, that would always be a winner and a must do. But depending on the time of the year, you also need to remember, if you're going through the national park, it might happen that they had a lot of rain, therefore the vegetation has grown quite a bit, so visibility is quite poor. So I would maybe suggest going a little bit more in the dry season to Chobe.
And then the fourth day, we just had one activity, which is the rhino walk. We have to leave quite early, that's like 6 in the morning as well, and we only finished it around 12:30, which is totally worth it. Definitely recommend. It's a must thing to do.
Yeah.
It gave us a chance to spot the rhino. It's just like, I don't know, 5 meters away from you.
Yeah.
Even like I've done in Serengeti National Park, but you could only see the rhino from very far. Even your camera, you zoom in, you couldn't take like a very clear picture of the rhino.
And also, this is a rhino walk, so you are physically walking 5 meters away from a rhino. It is amazing. Yeah, they just like taking grasses right in front of us. They totally ignored us. We are like 4 people standing in front of them, and they kept eating. So we first did the like hiking type of thing. Our tour guide even showed us which of their dungs. Yeah, he showed us which dung is from which animal, and there was a lot of information that he shared about the vegetation, the behavior of animals, the rhinos themselves.
This tells us that, like a cow, which is a ruminant, an impala is a ruminant. It has a 4-chambered stomach.
Oh.
So what it does, because it doesn't want to be standing out in the sun in the middle of the day eating, where it can be seen by predators, and it's also energy inefficient. So it'll come out early in the morning, eat as much as it can, as quickly as it can, fill up its first stomach, it's called the rumen, and then go and sit in the shade and regurgitate the grass and chew it slowly.
Yep, so that's our morning activities, and in the afternoon we left our hotel for around maybe 1:30, and it takes another 7 hours drive back to Lusaka. So that's our 4th day. Then the 5th day we did our activity in Lusaka, which is the elephant experience and cheetah walk in Chaminuka. They have horse ride, elephants, cheetah, lions feeding, boats fishing, a lot of activities over there, and it's much cheaper than Livingstone. So we did our cheetah walk and elephant experience. It cost us like $50 for both of the activities. But if you do it in Livingstone for cheetah walk and lion walk, it costs you more than $200 for 2 of them. So it's totally worth it. But if you don't have time passed by Lusaka, then just do all your activities in Livingstone. They have everything you need. It took us about like half days to do those 2 activities. They don't really have the time restrictions. Just pop by maybe around 8 or 9 depending on your schedules. They could arrange the 2 activities down for you, because elephant maybe take you half hour and cheetah walk will take you half hour. So yeah, they could arrange it anytime according to groups. That's basically it.
Let's talk about mullah.
You know, we stayed in backpackers, so we didn't stay in fancy hotels. If you want to stay in fancy hotels, there's like Royal Livingstone,
Fairmont Hotel,
David something, but our overall budget's $1,000 for 2 of us, which is quite enough, roughly enough, because we stays in Lusaka. So the time when we do the Chaminuka and stuff, we didn't spend anything on accommodations. But if you are just a traveler, a single traveler, $800 to $1,000 would be very enough. So let's break down on every day.
So for the accommodation, we had a room with 3 beds and basically shared bathroom with everyone, of course, and that was $80 per person for 4 nights, which is not bad.
The sunset cruise cost us $65, and then the Chobe National Park 1 day cost us $157, and then the Devil's Pool or Angel's Pool cost $110. It costed $105 previously, but they just increased the price this year. And then roughly $50 for the Cheetah's Walk and Elephant Experience in Lusaka. So that's for the activities, plus some small fees for the park entrance. If you want to do like bungee jumping, zip line, and maybe another trip in Zimbabwe side, and maybe another like half day or 1 day more in Chobe, it will obviously cost you more than that. But that's basically our cost. And then the third is the food. And we'll just say 500 kwacha per day for food, which is quite enough for a single person. Normally one meal for like a steak or maybe plus drinks maybe cost you 250 or something roughly for a steak or any chicken or like main meal. If you have like dinner and lunch together, so that will be 500 kwacha for a day. But some of the activities already covered the food, so we'll just put it like 500 kwacha per day for like calculation sake. And 4 days will be 2,000 kwacha. That's about $132, exclusive of alcohol. If you drink alcohol, they will cost you obviously a lot more. And then for visa.
So for visas, if you guys are exempt or you Commonwealth or whatever coming to Africa, mostly you wouldn't need a visa. But in the case that you do need a visa, sometimes you need a visa on arrival, sometimes you need to get it prior to coming to Zambia, Zimbabwe or Botswana. So if you do come, visa on arrival, for example, would be $50, a double visa would be $80, and then you need to check with the Botswana and Zimbabwe side as well. Sometimes you don't need to pay, depending on which country you come from.
Yeah, if you just want to travel Zambia, then the single entrance tourist visa for 3 months is definitely enough, which is $50. But if you want to go to Botswana side and come back again, which will be a double entrance visa, that is $80. So that's for the visa side, but all the information will be available in Zambia immigration site, Zimbabwe immigration site, Botswana as well. So do the homework and check those visa requirements. So that's about it. Let's just assume you need a double entrance visa for Zambia, which is $80. I'll sum up. All our expenses would be $665. So if you want to have like a little bit room for that, $800 for a single person would be enough.
I hope this information was helpful. Once again, Sherry, William, if you like us, subscribe. Definitely come to Zambia, people. It's awesome here.
Welcome to Zambia.
Welcome. Bye.
Bye.